Football day. We work all the third down, short yardage, goal line. So we're just getting ready, getting our minds, body, and soul to go out there and play and prepare for a hell of a game this weekend. With that said, I'm all ears.
We talked to Terry yesterday, and he said one of the things that really impresses him about Sam Howell is how he's able to take some coaching points and quickly apply it to the game that next week. Have there been instances where you've seen that, where he's quickly taken what you've told him and applied it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been growth every single week throughout the entire season. I know sometimes things look bad, but the thing that he does, he makes sure that he corrects the mistakes that he's making. I thought the kid, he's doing a heck of a job. He's competing. He's finding ways to make plays. But on top of that, he's taking coaching. He's fine-tuning all the little detailed things that's helping him to become a better football player. And we just hope that he continues to grow in that with that arrow moving in the right direction.
What's sort of the back and forth between you and him during the week? I mean, how much does he come to you for questions about certain plays or just fine-tuning things as he's studying?
You know what? Throughout the course of the week, it's me dealing with everyone. I try and let the coaches coach because I want them to have their input. I'm pretty much overseeing everything. But every Friday, we spend an enormous amount of time going through the call sheet and just talking about situations and what do we like in this particular situation? What if this happens? And that's always a great conversation that we have. And so that's when I get to really spend that intimate time. Now, throughout the course of the week, if there's something that needs to be discussed, we're always open to talking. And obviously, we spend a lot of time. We sit next to each other in the install room when I'm not installing. On top of that, I'm always talking to him on the headset. So there's constant communication. So the kid is a great kid. I'll keep saying that. And obviously he's done a tremendous job so far. But, we still got a lot of season left, and we want to continue to grow in the right direction.
Are there any specific examples you can share with us of things you've learned of him or from him when you're going through those call sheets or just in specific instances like that?
I know he likes to throw the ball deep. So, and I joke and I laugh about that because I know at some point in time somebody's going to ask me a question about running the football. So I always receive my annual text message from Brad Childress about running the ball. So if you guys don't know him, Brad Childress, former coach. He was the head coach in Minnesota when I was there coaching the running backs. We also coached in Kansas City for a number of years. Great man, great coach. He made me a personalized hat that says "Run the damn ball," and because I used to wear him out and I used to wear Coach Reed out, and so now I've become a product of what they've made me into. So, but I just shake my head. But the thing that I've learned, just working with him is just watching the growth. The thing that I love about him, he's a quiet, humble, resilient kid. He never and I've said this before, he never gets too high. He never gets too down. He's more even keel than what you can ever imagine. He hates to lose. He hates to be wrong. But he's never going to let you see that frustration come out in him. And so in fact, he'll be a great poker player, But I'm enjoying the kid. And like I said, the kid, and I keep calling him a kid. I know he's a young man, but the kid has some stuff to him. And I love what he brings to the table on and off the field.
Have you learned coaching him, if he doesn't show you the frustration? Like, is there times you have to coach him differently because you can sense he's frustrated? Or what's that like as a coach if you can't always tell?
Well, it ain't so much that I can't tell. I know how he's feeling. He just, facial expression-wise, it's not going to show. And there's some times when I'm getting on him. But he's a good kid. And like I said, anytime something bad happens, I have to remind myself, I got to stop and pause and say, you know what? This is probably the first time that has happened to him. Just like, I thought he did a hell of a job of breaking that run. He's out in the middle of the field. He's running. He's doing everything he can to help us to win. Poor kid gets held up and they take the ball from him. Obviously I'm hot. I'm upset. But I realize, you know what? This is the first time that it's happened to him. So do you want him to stop making plays? Nah, you want to encourage him to be himself and to continue bringing out that competitor in him, because that's the fire and that's the passion that we want. But now he just needs to learn how to finish it without the turnover. And so, I mean, the kid's doing a hell of a job.
Coach, not to solicit more Sam Howell praise from you, but the touchdown pass to Brian Robinson against Seattle during the opening drive, his primary read gets clogged by pass rush, gets pressure, tucks the ball, starts to move, but then has the wherewithal to pull the ball back up and find Brian Robinson open there. Is that something that, say, 4 weeks ago, you think you would have seen from Sam, or is that kind of an example of that growth that you've seen?
That's purely an example. Not only growth from him, but also growth from Brian. Because first and foremost, when things go wrong, we got to find a way to make a play. And we're always telling Sam to keep his eyes downfield. All right, and then there's hot spots that we're trying to hit when those scramble drills are taking place. I thought they both did a great job of connecting. I mean, that's just the chemistry that they're starting to develop. And, you know, now it's just not us talking about it. It's them making it happen and seeing it come to light. And so those are the things that you love, because there's growth. But now we got to take it to another level. We have to learn to sustain. We have to learn to finish when it's all said and done with.
And then looking at pressure rates, like the pressures have been relatively the same as far as counts per week, but the sacks have obviously gone down. What do you attribute that to from your offense just in general?
You know, and I'll keep saying this, we're growing together as an offense. I think the communication has been outstanding. You know, I love sitting behind the O-line and watching these guys talk about the different things that come up. I absolutely love that, because, and I'll say this, and I know I sound like a broken record, but communication is the key to any successful relationship. The O-line, they have to stay in constant communication. So when they're in communication, I know things are changing, because now they're talking about certain issues that needs to be fixed and how we're going to do it. And so when they're doing that, that becomes infectious behavior, because now it ain't just the O-line talking. Now these guys are talking to the quarterback. Now these guys are talking to the backs and the tight ends and the receivers. And so that's paying off. And that's, like I said, those are the things that help build the chemistry that is needed to become a great team. And so, like I said, we're growing. We're growing. We just need to take the next step.
Kind of following up on that, with the defensive blitzes as much as like Martindale wants to. Kind of at the line of scrimmage, what's the breakdown between kind of quarterback and center in terms of kind of setting the line? And have you seen growth out of Sam in terms of identifying defenses and setting the blocking, setting the line?
Oh yeah, I think each and every week. I mean, his play has been better. His overall communication has been better. I think everything is settling down for him, and not to say he's there, but he's slowing the game down. He's learning how to process the information and translate exactly what he's seeing in the classroom, and allowing that process to translate over to the field. And so you can see that growth. Now, you can always tell, I know I can, when something is quite not right. There's something that he does, and I'm not going to share with you guys, but you can see it. And so then you talk him through it, and then he hits the reset button, and he auto-corrects. But he's doing a great job of communicating. He's doing a great job of processing the information, and he's doing a great job of leading the guys. And so he just needs to continue being himself. And you know what? If he continues, obviously, the sky can be the limit.
Sure you don't want to tell us what that is?
No, not at all.
After the Giants game a month ago, you guys made some changes to the O-line, some by injury, some by performance. How do you think the new group is coming together and performing? I
think the new group is doing they're doing a great job. Obviously, sometimes without no bad luck, you wouldn't have any good luck at all. And sometimes unfortunate things happen. That experience in New York happened for a reason. And so it's made us a better team, a better unit. Now, obviously, we haven't shown it in the win-loss column, but we're growing, okay? Like I said, the things that we're taking, the necessary steps, it's the communication aspect. I'm seeing these guys hanging together in the locker room, talking about all the little things that can take place on game day. You know, when guys are coaching each other, and talking about different things, that's when you know that you're coming together as a unit. And so the chemistry is developing and it's translating onto the field. We just need to make sure that we can create our own luck by learning how to strain throughout the course of a 60-minute game. On top of that, making sure that we understand the importance of finishing. And so once we can get over that hump, I think, like I said, we can do whatever we choose and decide to, because first and foremost, we got a great group of young men. Second of all, there is talent, and everybody has talent. But now we just need to turn that light on and find a way to drag our ass across the finish line when it's all said and done with.
And it's funny as you talk about the growth and evolution and you run the damn ball hat and everything else. As you look back, are there spots, you guys are in these shootouts now with some regularity. Are there spots where you wonder, okay, I could have leaned on B-Rob there or gone with something else?
Oh, yeah. And so first of all, just like we evaluate every player, I'm always evaluating myself. One of the hardest things that you do as an offensive coordinator is go back and watch the game, not just from a standpoint of who did what assignment the right way. Well, did I put us in the right situation in this particular moment? What could I have called different? What are some of the things that we could have done that could have helped change the outcome of the game? So you're always taking note on self first. You want to make sure that you're looking internally and making sure that you're doing the right thing, and then making sure if there are mistakes that you can improve upon, what are those things? Each and every week, I always have our guys write up, if we had to play this team again, what are the 3 things as a positional coach that you would do differently? And I do that myself as an offensive coordinator. What are the 3 things that I would do differently as a coordinator to put us in the best situations?
And going back to that first Giants game, obviously Wink Martindale presents his own challenges. So how much are you looking forward to seeing as a measuring stick where the protection and Sam is at diagnosing what they throw at you guys? Because it is different.
You know what? I think Sam has done a great job. Obviously, he played against a team with the New England Patriots who presented a lot of the issues. Obviously, Philly presents a lot of issues. There's been a number of teams that he's faced that's presented different challenges. Now, obviously, with Wink, I've known Wink for a long time. He is who he is. Obviously, our guys need to respond, and more than anything, our guys just need to remain poised under pressure, because Wink is not going to change who he is. We need to make sure that the communication is in line. Then on top of that, when called upon to execute, do your job to the best of your ability. And if we're doing that, we'll give ourselves a chance. It's not necessarily about what Wink's doing, okay? It's about how we're going to attack, how we respond, and how we handle, all right, by calming the noise.
And then going back to Brian Robinson, you talked about him getting comfortable. And there were a couple design routes for him the other day. How is, in the one where he dusts the linebacker, so how has he improved just as a pass catcher in the pass game for you?
You know what? I love what, first of all, Coach Randy and Coach JK, they do a great job with those guys. Coach B-Rob and AG, they're just dynamic football players that happen to play the running back position. Those guys do a great job as runners. They do a great job, obviously, running routes. Obviously, they're still learning all the different nuances about protections. They do a great job of picking up blitzes. And so I love what those guys bring to the table. And then, like I said, you're seeing the growth and comfort level grow. All right, which now these guys are feeling more and more confident about executing with great attention to detail. So they're allowing their personalities to show. That's the beauty of the growth process that we've taken. But we got to make sure that we can get over that hump.
Take 2 more. Another Sam question for you. Understanding that we don't know what the future holds for any of us. That said, have you seen enough from him right now to say, yeah, he is the starting quarterback for the. I know you're excited that he can be the starting quarterback for this team, not just even next year, but beyond.
You know what? And I'll make sure I answer this the right way. Every day is a new day. Okay. Every day I'm more impressed by the person. I'm impressed by the kid, and so My job is to make sure I'm living in this moment. I can't tell you what's going to take place, just like you said, down the line. But I do know this. The kid has the work ethic. He has the attitude and the mindset that's taking him in the right direction. He just needs to stay who he is, remain who he is, humble, a hardworking kid that doesn't take anything for granted, that understands that, hey, you know what? Every little thing that he learns is by far the most important to help him to be the best player and person that he can be on the field and off the field. So I think if he's utilizing his same work ethic and his family values, he'll be all right when it's all said and done with.
A guy like C.J. Stroud's getting a lot of attention because he's obviously having a really good rookie year, and he was the number 2 pick in the draft. Sam is getting more positive attention, but he's still someone who, well, he was a 5th-round pick. We'll see. Do you think if he's a 1st-round pick, we're not having as much conversations about what he is or isn't, that, hey, he's actually doing?
You know what? Let me just say this. We've watched the kid for years, and I'm talking about when I was in Kansas City because our offensive line coach, Andy Heck, his sons played there. On top of that, you guys have heard me say this before, Natron Means, who's one of my best friends, he coaches there. The defensive line coach, Tim Cross, he coaches there. All those guys have known Sam. So when I came here, they had nothing but great things to say. And so once they put that stamp of approval on him, I knew exactly what type of person I'll be working with, what type of competitor that I would be working with. And so, I mean, the kid is a great kid. The kid is doing all the little things the right way. Like I said, we just need to continue to grow and find ways to put wins in the win-loss column.
Can I ask one quick one? What was his reaction after the interception against the Patriots? Because he came up and told us that's the worst interception I've ever done in my career. But he's always so even-keeled. I'm curious, what was his reaction in that moment?
You know what? I kind of blacked out. Then I got to think about it. I'm just joking. He was, you know what? I don't know if he necessarily had a reaction, but he knew he made a mistake. And the kid knew, and there was nothing else that needed to be said, because not only did he have to face me, but more importantly, he had to face his teammates. And he's a better player than that. He made a mistake. It's unfortunate. But those are the things that are needed to help the growth process.
Did you say anything to him, or did you just say, hey, you got to go, or is it, like you said, is anything needed?
I just looked at him, and he knew. Sometimes a facial expression can say a whole lot. All right. Thank you, guys. I almost wore it in here. I might wear it next week.